Hello everybody. Don't know if there's anybody on, but welcome here folks. We're on St. Stephen's Green, just making our way here onto Dawson Street. Say hello if there's anybody on here. No. I got 4 thumbs up, but no nobody on. If nobody comes on, I'm not going to do the tour. So we're on Dawson Street right here, folks. So the theme of today's tour is Georgian Dublin, featuring Oscar Wilde and Merrion Square Park. I do have somebody on. We got one person. Say hello. It's Poppy. How are you, Poppy? Poppy, it's only you that's on at the moment, and if it continues that way for the next 5 minutes, I'm not going to do the tour. It's not worth it. It's not worth my while doing it. I hope you understand. But say there is only one person. That's it. Just yourself. Thanks for coming on, Poppy. I appreciate it. But with only just the one person on, it's not worth my while doing this tour.
My son's coming home today.
Hopefully there'll be more for tomorrow. That's understandable. It's not worth just for me. Okay. And thanks, Poppy. I appreciate that. I'll tell you what. I'm going to wait another minute. If nobody comes on, we'll leave it at that. I know it says 2 people, but who else is here? Even 2 people is not really worth my while. Bonnie, how you doing, Bonnie? How are you? We'll just wait a few more minutes then. If more people come, we'll do it. If not, I can't just do it for 2 or 3 people. It's not worth my while. I'd like to do it for you guys, but at the same time, I got to make some money as well. Bonnie, you understand? Thanks a lot, Bonnie. Appreciate it. I'm just going to wait before I start this tour. We'll give it another 3 minutes, because usually people are going to come on a tour like this. They'll come on within the first 5 minutes. So we'll see what happens. So stick on here for a minute, because there may be some others that will join us in the next 2-3 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and do the tour. We're on Dawson Street right here. It's a lovely street, part of Dublin, very fashionable street. Some lovely shops and stores. This is the Mansion House. This is where I was going to start the tour, the Mansion House. Whoever the third person is, if they can say hello. We got Bonnie on here, we got Poppy, and who else is there? Shall I post the link on Facebook? Satyam's on. Okay, Satyam, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome. I was just waiting for a few more people to come on before I start the tour. It's only 3 people. Well, it says 4 people. Hopefully a few more will come on in the next couple of minutes. Anyway, listen, we'll go ahead. We'll start the tour. So I'm here, as I say, on Dawson Street here in Dublin. Very busy street, lots of buses. The tram goes through here as well. But what you're looking at here, folks, is the Mansion House here in Dublin, and was built by Joshua Dawson, who this street is named after. He developed all this area, including Grafton Street, Dawson Street. So Joshua Dawson, and he built this Mansion House here in 1710. And it became the official residence of the Lord Mayor of Dublin in 1715. And it was also the meeting place for Dáil Éireann Assembly of Ireland from 1919 to 1922. So it was the unofficial Dáil Éireann Assembly of Ireland before Ireland actually got its independence in 1922. I'm going to show you the exact place where they moved to in 1922 in just a little bit. Daniel O'Connell was the Lord Mayor here in 1841, and the current Lord Mayor here today is Daithí de Rosta. Now the Lord Mayor only serves a 1-year term. The previous 3 years have been all women Lord Mayors. So this is the first male Lord Mayor in about 4 years. So there's a nice little crib they have here, as well as an animal crib. It's all for charity. So a little Christmas venue here on Dawson Street at the Mansion House. Yeah, post it on Facebook if you want, Poppy. That's cool. As we make our way down here, we have over here. Hi Diane, how are you? Join from Florida, great stuff. What's the weather like in Florida today? I hope it's nice. So we're coming up here to the Royal Irish Academy. Another beautiful building, as I say. We've got all these buses blocking my view, but what can you do? It's a great restaurant right here, Cafe and San. Very fashionable inside, really nice place. But the Royal Irish Academy is this building right here. Really, really nice, beautiful building. This is for scholars only. It was established in 1785, and it's an academic body that promotes study in the sciences, humanities, and social sciences. And there's 600 members, and all of them are academic scholars. So they won't let me in. What can you do? But a lovely building, I say. Very influential people. There are members there, but you got to be a scholar. So we're on, as I say, Dawson Street right here. This is St. Anne Street. This street, Anne Street South, and this street is named after, or should I say, yeah, it is. It's named after the church right here. This beautiful, beautiful church, and this is St. Anne's Anglican Church right here on Dawson Street. Established in 1720, and it's a Church of Ireland, it's an Anglican church, built in the Baroque neo-Romanesque style, to a style by architect Isaac Wills. Now, the original building was not completed above the first floor. In 1868, it was completed to what you see today. Let me stand back a little bit so you can see it a little bit better from afar. But it really is a spectacular church, beautiful. Bram Stoker was married here in 1878 to a lady called Frances Balcombe, who previous to Bram Stoker going out with her, she used to go out with Oscar Wilde, how about that? And Wolfe Tone, the great Irish patriot, the rebel, the leader of the 1798 rebellion, he was married here at this church in 1785. Of course, he lost his life in the 1798 rebellion. Actually, he didn't lose his life. He cut his own throat while in jail because he was going to be executed anyway. He didn't want to give the British the pleasure of executing him. So he went ahead and cut his own throat. Unfortunately, he didn't do it properly, and he suffered for 5 days before he actually died. But that's Wolfe Tone, as I say, married here in 1785. Anthony St. Ledger, founder of the St. Ledger Stakes horse race, one of the brothers, was buried here in the church. Okay, we're going to move on. We're going to make our way to... So this is a lovely street. You see all the Christmas lights, they're all ready. Now we're going to be doing, well, not this particular street, but just the street. At the end of the street behind me is Grafton Street. On Wednesday, we'll be doing that tour, Christmas on Grafton Street. So I hope you can join me for that. I'm going to do it right here on YouTube, and it'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of atmosphere. There's another top class restaurant right here called the Ivy. Let me just see if we got any comments or anything. Rainy in Florida. Rainy night in Soho. A song by so we're coming up to, this is Molesworth Street, just off of Dawson Street, full of nice Georgian buildings. So most of this street would have been developed in the 1700s. And you have right here White's, and White's is an auctioneer house, and this is Ireland's oldest auctioneer house, and it dates back to 1783. And it's Ireland's oldest and leading auctioneer, focusing on Irish art and collectibles, such as antiquarian books, archaeology, historic documents, banknotes, coins, firearms, medals, historic documents, etc., dating back. Some of these documents would date back to the 12th century. So it's all high-end products that they have here that they're selling. Irish art, a lot of some of the Irish art would be from the great William Butler Yeats's brother, Jack B. Yeats, a great Irish painter. So there's White's. So it looks like we had 5, now we've only got 4. Someone's out there sneaking off on us. So over here to my left, this building you see over here on the left hand side of the street beside where that bus is going, that open air bus, is the Masonic Lodge here in Dublin. And the original building here of this Masonic Lodge, or Grand Lodge if you like, was established in 1725. That's the building right there, the greyish building or the creamish building. Don't even know what colour to tell you what that is, but the one you see right there. And it's established in 1725, but the Masonic Lodge, it was actually rebuilt in 1869. And the Grand Lodge of Ireland is the second most senior Grand Lodge in the world, and it's the oldest in continuous existence. There is another Masonic Grand Lodge in Edinburgh, which is the oldest, dates back to 1600s, but it's not located at the same location like this one here. For some reason, I'm really close up to everything right here, to the buildings. I don't know why, but everything's real close. I must have it set at, I can't reset it now during the tour. But anyway, that's the Masonic Lodge right there. They have approximately 18,000 members from around the world. And the original building, I say, from 1725 would have been a Georgian building. But I say they built this new one in 1869 to replace the old one. So this would be in the Victorian style. We'll move on. Got a lovely hotel here called Buswell's across the road, so you give you a better look at it. But this is a really nice boutique hotel. Now, boutique hotels supposedly are supposed to only have 25 rooms, but this one's still considered a boutique hotel, even though today it has 69 rooms. It's absolutely beautiful. Poppy, sorry, I'm late. No problem, Sarah. How are you? You haven't missed a whole lot, Sarah. I'm trying to get myself excited and motivated. There's not a whole lot of people on. We've only got 5 or 6. So this is Buswell's Hotel, built in the early 1800s. I think it's 1820 it dates back to. And it's a beautiful, luxurious boutique hotel with 69 rooms. And it's a brilliant location. Obviously, it's in the heart of the city, right around the corner from St. Stephen's Green, just down the street from Dawson Street and, of course, Grafton Street. So it's a brilliant location. That's Dáil Éireann, the Irish government right there. Now I will explain that to you, tell you a little bit about that in a minute. But let me show you this other building first. And this is the National Museum of Ireland. It's a history and archaeology museum. Absolutely amazing. Beautiful museum. As you can see, it dates back to 1877 it was built. And this museum specialises in Irish and other antiquities dating from the Stone Age to the late Middle Ages. The collection here contains artefacts from prehistoric Ireland, including bog bodies, iron and Bronze Age objects, including heads, swords, shields, axe heads, I should say, swords, shields, etc., all kinds of different stuff. Other artifacts include the Lurgan logboat, which dates back over 4,000 years. There's loads of Viking artifacts and Viking ships in here in this building. Also the Tara brooch, the Ardagh chalice, just to mention a few. And what's great about this place, it's absolutely free. It costs nothing to come in here. So if you're ever in Dublin, hi Bonnie, hi Ronnie, good to see you. So if you're ever in Dublin, highly recommend the beautiful National Museum of Ireland, the History and Archaeology Museum. Absolutely free to come inside, which is this is really neat. I bring a lot of tourists in here as well, or I always recommend it if I'm doing a tour close to around here and they're asking me what else they could do. I'll always tell them, listen, come into this museum. It really is spectacular. Fabulous. Beautiful building itself as well. Now I'm looking for this house right here because Bram Stoker, he attended Trinity College, and he worked at the tax office in Dublin Castle before he went on to manage the Lyceum, was it the Lyric Theatre, the Lyceum Theatre in London, where he managed for over 20 years. But this is where he lived, right here, Bram Stoker. Number 50, Kildare Street. Bram Stoker, theatre manager, author of Dracula, of course. Lived here from 1847. No, he was born in 1847, he died in 1912. I don't know how long he lived here for, but maybe a few years anyway. So the next building we're going to show you here is Leinster House, it's known as. Now, it was originally the home of Lord Leinster, and Lord Leinster was James Fitzgerald. James Fitzgerald, very, very wealthy man. He was previously known as the Earl of Kildare, later became Lord Leinster, and he had a huge family, 15 children, and this is where he lived, Leinster House. And 1822, this became the Assembly of Ireland, the Oireachtas as I call it, which is the Parliament or Government of Ireland, the Oireachtas. As I say, built in 1745, but it's been Dáil Éireann. Dáil Éireann means Assembly of Ireland, the Irish government, since 1922. The House of Representatives of the Oireachtas Legislature of Ireland are known as TDs, and there's 160 TDs. All a bunch of wasters. Terrible, isn't it? I know if anybody's heard me say that. And the leader of the country today, our Prime Minister, is a man by the name of Leo Varadkar. He's of Indian descent. I think his father's from India. So a very diverse nation we are today. So there's Leinster House. It's a very impressive building. It's absolutely beautiful. And the other side of it is spectacular as well. So there's two sides. There's this is the front, and then the back building is absolutely beautiful as well. And the back building is looks just like the White House in Washington DC. And actually, the man that built the White House in Washington DC was a man called James Hoban from County Kilkenny, and he modelled the White House on this very building. Now, not this part of it, but the back of it, which is a spectacular building. This is the National Library of Ireland, and dating back also to I think it's 1877, the same as the museum, the National Museum. There's an exhibition that goes on. It's been going on for years and years here on William Butler Yeats, so it's a whole room dedicated to him. It really is a spectacular exhibition, really fantastic, and all about the life and times of William Butler Yeats, who won the Nobel Prize for Literature. And he was in 1923, he was the first Irishman to ever do so. And it really opened up the floodgates for Irish writers. Once he won that, people across the world started paying attention to Irish literature. But this is a fantastic library right here. It really is terrific. It houses 8 million items, including books, journals, newspapers, magazines, manuscripts, maps, prints and drawings, and printed music, you name it, all kinds of stuff. So the National Museum. And once again, folks, if you're to come to this part of Dublin, which is really, really close to the centre of Dublin, you can go to the museum, as I say, the National Museum, the History and Archaeology Museum, and also the library. And it costs absolutely free, not 1 penny to enter, which is brilliant. I'm sure you would agree. We've got 7 people on now. Get excited. 7 people. Who else? Come on. Wow, says Ronnie. Good stuff. At least someone's excited. Like myself, I'm always excited. You got to be excited. As I say, this is Kildare Street, and this building right here, magnificent building. It's the National Museum. It's the Royal College of Physicians building right here. The Royal College of Physicians. Let me go across the road and show it to you. Yay, says Sarah. Sarah's excited. Well done, Sarah. Get excited. That's my saying. When I meet people, I always say to them, get excited. I don't do it so much when I'm doing tours, but in real life, I always say to people, get excited. So this is, as I say, a beautiful, beautiful building. It's the Royal College of Physicians in Ireland, and you're not going to believe how how old this building is. It was founded in 1654, the Royal College of Physicians here in Ireland. Yeah, that's true, Ronnie. You know, James Hoban from County Kilkenny designed the White House, an Irishman from County Kilkenny. He modelled it after but not the building I just showed you, the back of that building. I'll show it you a little later when we go around to Merrion Square. So the Royal College of Physicians was founded in 1654, and this building was purchased by them in 1860. It was formerly the Kildare Club, which was a gentleman's club, the Kildare Club, where the gentry of the day would have hung out, the wealthy people. If you look down the end of the street, you'll see the railings of Trinity College. So beyond them black railings that you see there, is that what I should call them, railings? Is the beautiful Trinity College, which I'll be doing a tour of tomorrow. This is a French college right here, this red brick building, and they teach a lot of mostly Irish students, anywhere from 3 years old up to 80 years old. They teach French, so it's really nice. It's a lovely building it's in too. That's part of the French library, yeah. There you go. How you doing, boss? Are you learning French, eh?
Pardon?
Are you learning French?
A little.
Good man.
No, they have. I was in the library. It's nice, small
I gotta
library.
check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing a live stream right now.
Good. Okay.
Talking to people.
Good for you.
Thanks, boss. See ya. We're gonna make our way down to Merrion Square. So there's Trinity College behind there. This is Nassau Street they're on right now. Actually, Leinster Street is this. Nassau Street just behind me. It runs into Trinity or to Leinster Street, and then after that Clare Street. But you might notice this red brick building over here on the left-hand side. It's called Finn's Hotel, and Finn's Hotel was where a lady by the name of Nora Barnacle worked as a chambermaid. Nora Barnacle was from Galway, and it was right here that James Joyce was walking down this street here, Leinster Street, in 1904, and he happened upon a girl coming out of this hotel, a lovely redhead, Nora Barnacle from Galway, and he was so infatuated by her from a first sight, or whatever, love at first sight, that he asked her out on a date. Now, they were to meet outside of Oscar Wilde's father's house, Sir William Wilde's house, but he never showed up. She never showed up. He was absolutely devastated by this and found out where she lived, and he went to her house. She answered the door, and he asked her out again. This time, she said she would go out with him, and they went on their first date, and that was the 16th of June 1904. And this is the reason why Joyce chose this date for the setting of his great book, Ulysses, which tells the story of one day in the life of Leopold Bloom in 1904. There you go. We're coming around here to Lincoln Place. There's a lot of people knocking off work early today, seeing that it's Christmas. A lot of work Christmas parties will be on tonight. The city of Dublin will be absolutely mobbed tonight, not just with tourists, but also obviously with locals and local business people, business workers in all the offices. We'll be going out for their Christmas drinks, which is really cool. That's one of the entrances into the gallery, the National Art Gallery. Another free museum to visit. It's absolutely fantastic. It's amazing. This is the dental hospital right here. Beautiful building, the dental hospital. It's an old Victorian style building. Now this is where you get work done on your teeth. Not by, well, you'll have supervisors, the dentists will be supervisors, but it's where the students learn how to learn their dentistry. So it's part of the dental school of Trinity College. Trinity College, that's one of the entrances into it right there. So this is part that's owned by Trinity College, is the dental hospital right here. And as I say, students will do your teeth here. So there's kind of a waiting list, but you can get your teeth done like usually you guys would know. It's so expensive even to get a filling or a root canal or any of that kind of stuff. Costs an absolute fortune. Here, you get it for next to nearly free. I think you might have to pay 150 euros. You could get up to 10 fillings for that even. A root canal, all that kind of stuff. So really cheap. Because it's students that are working on your teeth. But they're being supervised by good dentists. So they know what they're doing. So a good way of saving money. Over here, you got Kennedy's pub to my right, to my left, sorry. Let me try and cross the road here. I'm gonna be careful. This is a busy section of the city. And hi Dave, hi Pauline, how are you? Good to see you. How's things? Dentists are crazy, says Ronnie. Hi Dave, I got here late. Will you leave the video up? So yes. Now the video will probably, by the time it processes, will probably be ready for tomorrow, I'd say. It'll be ready by tomorrow morning. Probably, it usually takes about 8 hours or something to process this for some reason. As I say, this is Kennedy's pub right here. Good to see you, Pauline. Thanks for coming on. And Oscar Wilde was born just around the corner. I'm going to show you his house now in a little bit. And so he worked in this pub when it would have been back then. Pubs would have been grocery stores / pubs. So he would have stocked the shelves as a young boy, 10 or 11 years old. He was working in here. And they actually have a statue of him in here. So let's see. There's a statue of him outside of the pub. This is Westland Road right here. Train station down the end of that street. So here's Oscar himself right here, sitting down. He should be in there working. This is when he took a break, let's say, from his work. Oscar Wilde. Now we're going to show you a proper statue of Oscar Wilde in just a little bit, because we're going to go into Merrion Square Park in just a little bit. But first I want to bring you in here to, I hope it's open, Sweeney's, and this is an old pharmacy. But this was also mentioned in Joyce's book Ulysses, where the lead character of Ulysses, who was Leopold Bloom, actually it's covered over, when Leopold Bloom came here to get his lemon soap. So we'll go in. Now the man that runs this, he's a scholar, his name is PJ. I hope he's here today. He might not be here though. How you doing there? How are you? Is PJ here? Oh, that's a shame. The man that runs this, PJ, he's a scholar in the Irish and English language and loads of languages, I believe. But he also sings songs as well, so he's a musician. And he usually sings a song in Irish for us. But you'll see all the different stuff on Joyce and Oscar Wilde here in this great shop. As I say, made famous by the great book Ulysses. And they actually do patches of Ulysses. PJ, the guy that runs it, does these, what do you call them, book? Ulysses. Yeah, he does Ulysses, right, doesn't he? Does, what is it, recitals, or what do they call them? Just talks on it, right? Yeah. And he does talks on Ulysses. So, not just to be tourists, and there's PJ there. So, tourists and even locals alike will come by to this place to listen to his recitals of different passages or different chapters of Ulysses. Fantastic. Once again, free to come in, take a look. Maybe you'd like to get yourself a lemon soap. There's all the lemon soaps, like what Leopold Bloom got in the 16th of June 1904, as in the book. There you go. All right, thanks a lot there. Take care. Bye. I was hoping he was going to be there. He would sing a song for us in Irish. Some of you might have been on before when he was here, and he sang a song for us. It was really great. This is a beautiful building right here. This is the old Merrion Hall. Today it's the Davenport Hotel, owned by the O'Callaghan Group. The O'Callaghan Group also own the hotel down there that you see with the dome. That's the Alex. This is the Davenport, and they also own this hotel right here, which is called the Mont. So 3 hotels on the one square. Quite remarkable. This is, as I say, the old Merrion Hall, which belonged to the Plymouth, how do you say it? Plymouth Brethren religion. And it was the largest religious hall, if you like, of that particular religion, Plymouth Brethren, that they had. That would have been quite a number of years ago, though. And we're making our way here into Merrion Square. And Merrion Square is one of the 5 Georgian Squares of Dublin. It's the second oldest, the second largest. There's a lot of great little statues in here, little busts. It's 17.5 acres. But of course, the most famous monument in here belongs to the great Oscar Wilde. So we'll go in and take a look at that. And I'll tell you a couple of stories on Oscar Wilde if you wish. Anybody up for some stories? Tell me how excited you are. Do you want to hear some stories? Pump it up, young fellas. Pump it up. There you go. So this is the American College of Dublin. But it wasn't always the American College of Dublin, because this is... Sarah's excited again, look, yay. Simon's excited as well. Ronnie's excited. Diane's excited. So this is the American University of Dublin, American College of Dublin. But this wasn't always the American College of Dublin, because this is where Oscar Wilde grew up. This is where he lived, number 1 Merrion Square, which is the oldest house on the whole square. Moved here with his parents. I'll tell you a little bit about his parents a little later. There's also a museum in here, and there's also a tour that goes on in here where they will do a tour of the house where Oscar grew up in, and tell you about the life of Oscar Wilde. And that'll be run by the students from the American College here in Dublin. You might see across the road the Oscar Wilde Monument. Well, that's where we're going next. I'm going to run across the road. I shouldn't do this, but I can't be waiting. This is Merrion Square West, so it's a big square. There's the south end, sorry, the north end of it, Merrion Square. Beautiful Georgian homes. Well, actually, at one time there were homes. Today, they're mostly all businesses and corporations and what have you. But look, we've after losing some people. There's only 5 people on now. Look, instead of gaining people, I'm losing people. What's going on, folks? Now 4 people. People are just not excited. See, it was only the people who stayed on there, the ones that are excited, that said they were excited. The rest of them all bailed on me. Can't believe it. So, this is Merrion Square Park. It's a beautiful park. And it's one of the Georgian Squares. In the middle of one of the Georgian Squares here in Dublin. And this is the Oscar Wilde. Sorry, there, go ahead. Excuse me. Go on. This is the Oscar Wilde Monument. So I nearly got in the way of this young girl who was taking a picture. How you doing there? Where are you from?
Paraguay.
Paraguay. Very good. Paraguay. Central America, is it? Or South America?
Yeah.
South America, yeah.
South America.
Yeah, very good. Paraguay, yeah. Very good.
Extravagant of
Oscar, you like Oscar Wilde?
Yeah, I like it.
Hey, listen, did you ever hear, you know the country Chile, don't you? Chile?
Yes, yes.
Chile? Well, did you ever hear of a guy called Bernardo O'Higgins?
Yes.
Okay. Go straight up here, but you have to go around this way. The statue of Bernardo O'Higgins is here in this park.
Okay.
The reason why his statue is here, because his father was an Irishman.
Oh.
Yeah, Bernardo O'Higgins, the supreme leader of Chile, yeah. Yeah, go over and look at it. You go around that way, go around that way. There's a turn around there to the right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there. Take care. So you see the house right there. So what's great about this location of this statue is that he's looking at his childhood home here in Merrion Square. Long way from home. She is Paraguay. Yeah, it's a long way. Hello, Paraguayan. Yeah. So that's one South American country that I don't know a whole lot about is Paraguay for some reason. I know a good bit about, well, not a good bit, but a bit about most other South American countries, but just not Paraguay. So anyway, this is Oscar Wilde. So you want to hear a story, folks? You want to hear a story about Oscar Wilde? So let me tell you a story of Oscar Wilde. So Oscar Wilde was born just around the corner from here at number 21 Westland Row. And when he was a year old, He came in 1855. He was born in 1854. He came to live in this house with his parents, number 1 Merrion Square, the oldest house here, as Merrion Square was established in 1762. So he moved here with his parents. His parents were Anglo-Irish nationalists. Does anybody know what I mean when I say Anglo-Irish? What does that mean? Picture is fuzzy. Is anybody else picture fuzzy? I'm getting a beautiful, clear screen. Anybody else fuzzy? Folks, let me know, please. Just Diane's. I'm hoping it's just you, Diane. Sorry that's happened. But it's actually perfect for me. Yeah, there you go. Of course, Ronnie would get it because Ronnie used to live here. Picture's good, says Pat Satman. Maybe just refresh or something. No fuzz here. Okay, yeah, English and Irish. Satyam got it as well, so did Ronnie. Yeah, exactly. So they would have been of English descent, British descent. That's what Anglo-Irish means. But in this case of the Wildes, they would have been centuries back. They would have been Irish. They would have considered themselves Irish, not British, even though, you know, they were part of the Anglo-Irish because they would have been of British descent. But they were also nationalists. Now, when I say nationalists, what would I mean by being a nationalist? What would that mean? And a lot of British, a lot of Anglo-Irish were not nationalists. Obviously, there were some that were. Any idea what nationalist is? Well, I'll just tell you anyway. No fuss, no fuss. Hi Susan, how are you? So, nationalists would mean they would have been in favour of a united Ireland, independence for Ireland and so forth, away from Britain. So they would have been nationalists, and they're actually involved in some nationalist causes, the parents were. Now, so William Wilde was Oscar's father, patriotic. Yeah, there you go. For Irish independence. There you go, Diane. Exactly. So, Sir William Wilde, Oscar's father, was the leading eye and ear surgeon of his day. He was educated at the world famous St. Stephen's Green, the College of Surgeons on St. Stephen's Green. It's world renowned. There's students from over 60 countries that attend it still to this day. And he would have been the leading eye and ear surgeon of his day back in the mid 1800s. And he would have looked after the elite people here of Dublin. You know, your lawyers, your doctors, your politicians, what have you. He would have looked after surgery on their eyes for them, the eyes and ears. But he was also very much a philanthropist. And during the height of his career would have been the time of the Irish famine, which was between the years 1845 and 1852. So this man used to perform free surgery for the poor people of Dublin and poor people around Ireland, which was quite a noble thing to do, especially in them days. There might have been a lot of greed, but no, very, very good man, very kind-hearted man. He also was knighted by Queen Victoria for his contributions to medicine. He wrote books on medicine. He wrote books on archaeology, and he was also the founder of what is today the Eye and Ear Hospital, still going strong to this very day. I did mention that in the tour the other day. Now, the big influence on Oscar's life was his mother. His mother was Lady Jane Wilde, and she was a woman of immense conversation skills, and she wrote for the leading newspaper of the day called The Nation, and she went under the pen name, what do you call it, under the pseudonym name of Speranza, which means hope in Italian. Now, she used to run these gatherings in this house, or salons if you like, and the who's who of Dublin society would come by to listen to the stories of Lady Jane Wilde. And Oscar was allowed to sit in on these gatherings and salons. And it would have been full of people, your lawyers, your doctors, your politicians, all the important people of the day. And this woman, as I say, was a woman of immense conversational skills and an unbelievable wit, extremely, extremely funny. But she was also prone to exaggeration while telling these stories. But she always maintained, never let fact get in the way of a good story. Now, Oscar was allowed to sit in and watch these gatherings as long as he did not speak. He would have been just a young boy at the time. So this would have been a great training ground for him. Because his mother was telling stories on Irish folklore. As I say, they would have been very much exaggerated, Irish mythology and so forth, but they were very entertaining stories. Now, I'm going to skip some years of Oscar's life, and let's... I'll have to say, he went here... We left this house when he's 13 years old to go and entered the leading boarding school of the day called the Royal Portoforo Boarding School in Enniskillen, County Fermanagh in the north of Ireland. And he was already a genius from an early age. He was only 13 when he went there. He was way above the intellect of the rest of his fellow students. When he was about 16, 17, he finishes first in his class and he wins a scholarship to Trinity College, which is just down the street, where I'm doing a tour tomorrow. And he only spends 2 years at Trinity because he then wins a further scholarship, this time to Oxford in England. And whilst at Oxford, he befriended all these sons of very, very well-to-do, wealthy socialite families from London. And because of this, he used to get invited to all these events in these different clubs among the elites. And whilst at these clubs, this is before he ever wrote a book, a poem, or a play, he was a big hit in and around London, because he would gather everybody around, all these elites, aristocrats if you like, in London, and he'd gather them around tables in these clubs and so forth, and he would start telling them stories on Irish folklore. And as I say, he became really, really famous. Even the royal family at the time says, "Who is this Oscar Wilde that we have not met yet?" And a big hit. Anyway, we're going to skip some years of his life, and he marries this lady. This is Lady Constance Lloyd, and she was the daughter of a very wealthy Queen's Counsel, and she grew up right up the street up here. So you don't even have to leave. See the street where the cars are going by up this way? The next traffic light through that is Ely Place, and that's where she grew up. And amazingly, they didn't really know each other here. They met in London, and they had 2 sons, which is very significant to the rest of the story. They had 2 sons. And Oscar was very happily married for the first couple of years of his life. And in the first 4 or 5 years or so, they had 2 sons. He was great with his kids and so forth. But he soon grew bored of married life. He was an independent spirit, if you like. And he entered into a homosexual affair with a student from Oxford. His name was Boise Lord Alfred Douglas. And he was the son of the Marquis of Queensberry. If you ever heard of the Queensberry rules, they're the rules to boxing. This man set up the rules to boxing, Lord John Douglas from Scotland. He was a brute of a man. He hated the fact that his son was a homosexual, and he also hated the fact that his son was dating Oscar Wilde. And he tried to discredit Oscar Wilde every chance he could get. He would shout, go to the theatre districts of London and shout aloud that Oscar Wilde is a man that performs indecent acts. He would go around to the clubs where he was so popular and do the same thing. This man is a man that performs indecent acts, and he'd give out his card. And with this, Oscar's lover, Lord Alfred Douglas, Boise was his nickname, hated his father with a passion and told Oscar, "You must sue my father, you must sue him for libel." And with this, all of us, Oscar's friends, said, "Do not go there, don't do this. This is a powerful man, you'll live to regret it." He didn't listen to his friends, he listened to his lover, and he took this man to court for libel. Now, ironically, the man defending the Marquis of Queensberry was the real hot lawyer at the time, and hot defense lawyer at the time. His name was Edward Carson, and believe it or not, he grew up right down the street from here at number 1 Harcourt Street, right near St. Stephen's Green. And so he was in Trinity College the same time as Oscar. They were the same age, so they knew each other pretty well. And so Oscar and his lover, Lord Alfred Douglas, used to engage with the homosexual underground. And remember, homosexuality would have been absolutely illegal at the time. So he would have performed, or they would have engaged with the homosexual underground. So including rent boys and including stable boys. So what did this guy, Edward Carson, do during the trial? He brought in to the court all of these rent boys and stable boys. And the big mistake that Oscar Wilde made was that after each encounter with these stable boys or rent boys, he would give them a signed cigarette case. So what did these boys do when they come into the court? They open up their cigarette cases signed by Oscar Wilde. Now with this case was thrown out. Obviously, the Marquis of Queensberry is found innocent, and a new trial is now formed against Oscar Wilde for sodomy. He loses the case, goes to prison. This is in 1895. Now this man was used to the lap of luxury his whole life, lived in a beautiful house right here at Merrion Square, and when he was in London, had the most beautiful homes, the best of furniture, the best of blue china, what have you. He was used to the luxuries of life and nothing else. His whole life he was pampered. To come to a stage where he's going to prison, and it was like hard labor. It was like, you know, water, bread and water type of thing. So he was sick from almost the time he went to prison to the time he gets out of prison. When he gets out of prison, he leaves. He was a broken man, and he was broke financially as well. Despite the amount of money that he made, he always lived beyond his means, and he's very generous to his friends. He gave out a lot of financial gifts to his friends, but very few of these friends stood by him in his hour of need when he had no money. So all of his books would have been taken out of bookshelves of every bookstore, and then his plays would have been shut down. So he had no form of income coming in. As I said, he lived beyond his means despite the amount of money he earned. He got out of prison in 1897 and almost immediately left for Paris in France, never to return to either Ireland or Britain ever again. And he died in the year 1900 at the age of 46, destitute, not a penny to his name. So a very, very sad. Now the whole family had the same fate. The father died in 1878 or whatever, and he died bankrupt. Left all the debt to the wife, Lady Jane Wilde, and she had to sell up the house and pay off the debts, and then moved to London. She moved in with Oscar's older brother Willie, who happened to be a broke journalist. So she died when he was in prison, and he barely had enough money, or he barely got together enough money to pay for her gravestone, to pay for her funeral as well. And now he died in Paris, as I say, and in Paris he's buried in Père Lachaise. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Père Lachaise cemetery. There's like 3 million people buried there. The number one visited grave in all of Père Lachaise cemetery is the Oscar Wilde grave. Second, I believe, is Jim Morrison, who actually died in Paris in 1971. The great lead singer of The Doors. Oscar Wilde is famous for his quotes. I'll tell you what, I could go over and go back to the monument and all that, but look, I want to take you around this park a little bit, because what's happening in this park, this is a children's playground right here, and there's the Festival of Lights are on. It starts at 5 o'clock here, but all of these trees will be lit up in all different colours. I think there's a big Christmas tree in the back as well. How you doing? Come on.
Enjoying it in any case.
Huh?
You're enjoying it?
Oh, having a good day. Yeah, I'm doing a live stream. Yeah, thanks, man. So a lot of famous people lived on this square. Not only did Oscar Wilde live here, Daniel O'Connell, the great Irish patriot, if you like, Irish Catholic emancipator, the liberator, as he's known as. He was the first Catholic to move in here. It was, as I say, it was established in 1762. It was named, that Merrion Square is named after Lord Fitzwilliam of Merrion. But in around the year 1805 or so, the first Catholic, they would have been all Anglo-Irish, but the first Catholic to move in was Daniel O'Connell. He was the man that changed everything, if you like, for the Irish, poor Irish people under British rule. He was able to get legislative freedom. He was able to get economic rights and freedom for the poor Irish people of the day. Restrictions against land laws and so forth, and lots of other. He was also able to bring back education for the Irish people of the day who were not afforded an education before Daniel O'Connell came around, and they were allowed to practice their religion again, the Catholic religion. So they were allowed to start building churches again. So, I mean, the list goes on what this man achieved, Daniel O'Connell. He lived here. He used to run these meetings called monster meetings, and up to 1 million people would come and attend his meetings. They would have been all part of the Catholic Association, which he set up in 1823, and hugely popular man. If you were to ask any Irish person who's the most famous people in Irish history, would say Daniel O'Connell or Michael Collins. Michael Collins, the man that signed the treaty for where Ireland got its independence of the 26 counties of Southern Ireland in 1922. But they got it all because of this man, because he was a huge thorn in the side of the British Empire that they had to finally negotiate with him. He was causing too much havoc for them. So there's Trinity College outside, look. Isn't that nice? If it was a little bit darker, you could probably see this a little bit better. Her friend horse is waiting for her at St. Stephen's Green. There's St. Stephen's Green. So there's the entrance into it. That's the archway there, called the Fusiliers Arch, one of the entrances into St. Stephen's Green. That's pretty cool. I've never seen this before. After meeting her friend, Rua returns to Merrion Square Park to her house in the trees. There you go. There's Merrion Square Park, right here. And that's where we are right now. Here, I want to tell you another story. You want to hear this story? I haven't talked to anybody in a while or seen any messages. Oh, there wasn't any. Just some nice love hearts. That's good. So, this is known as the King's Chair. That's why it's in the shape of the throne, the King's throne. But it's also known as the Joker's Chair. And this is in memory of one of Ireland's greatest ever comedians, the king of comedy, if you like. And his name is Dermot Morgan. You might know him better as Father Ted. Has anybody ever watched the British TV comedy called Father Ted? I bet you, I know Poppy probably has, if she's still on here. Anybody ever watched Father Ted? Oh shit. Yes, says, okay, so Ronnie has. Ronnie probably watched it when she lived here in Ireland, in Dublin. So, it was about, Father Ted was about 3 Dublin priests that were banished from their parish here in Dublin and sent to rural Ireland in the west coast of Ireland, County Clare, in a fictitious island called Craggy Island. It doesn't exist. And they were banished for misappropriating funds in the church funds in their parish here in Dublin. So they were banished, as they say, to rural Ireland. And so Father Ted himself, he was up to all kinds of shenanigans and so forth. And then you had the younger priest, Father Dougal. And Father Dougal was like a real airhead, just a simpleton, really stupid, you know. And then they had that older priest, Father Jack, and he was always drunk. And he'd shout out, girls, drink, feck. And he was always drunk. So it was a hilarious TV program. It was absolutely hilarious. And what's amazing about it is, Satyam hasn't heard it now. You gotta go into Father Ted. You gotta watch Father Ted. It's fantastic. So they did a poll a number of years ago, a poll in Britain, because this was considered blasphemy of the Catholic Church. So no Irish channel would allow it to be aired. Obviously the Catholic Church were too powerful and they wouldn't allow it. So it was picked up by Channel 4 in Britain and in the UK. And Channel 4, as I say, picked it up when they aired it. So it was considered to be a British comedy, even though it was all about Ireland. Craggy Island, I suppose, is a fictitious island on the west coast of Clare. And they did a poll a number of years ago on what is the best British comedy of all time. And Father Ted finished number 2. How about that? And number 1 was, anybody can guess. What do you think the number 1 British comedy show of all time? Any idea? Satyam knows from way back. Maybe it takes a while to get your messages into this chat. I don't know. Anyway, the number 1 British comedy show of all time was Fawlty Towers. John Cleese. They only made 12 episodes and each one is just amazing. I guess they couldn't top it, so. But there's another story that John Cleese, who was Basil Fawlty, and the maid Polly, in real life, Connie Booth is her name in real life, they were actually married in real life and they were going through a divorce. And that's why they didn't, they got Fawlty Towers. That's right, Martin, you got a, hi Martin, how are you? Good to see you. Fawlty Towers, number 1. But anyway, so Dermot Morgan, the king of comedy, I think they 18 episodes they made of Father Ted, and I think they did it over, it was either a 6-week or a 6-month period. The day after the filming of the very last episode, poor old Dermot Morgan, Father Ted, the man that played Father Ted, died of a sudden heart attack at the age of 45. So this is dedicated to him. Dermot Morgan, 1952 to 1998. He's only 45 years old. Absolutely amazing he was. There you go. So we're coming up to nearly an hour. I don't know where the time goes, it just goes so fast. There's some other great statues within this park. We have a statue of Michael Collins. I can tell you the whole history of Michael Collins as well. Time doesn't allow us to do that though. We got Bernardo O'Higgins, the founding father of Chile, whose father was an Irishman from County Sligo on the west coast of Ireland, who moved over to Chile, became an engineer. Used to be a tenant farmer, gave up farming at the age of 30 and made his way to Cadiz in Spain, joined the Spanish army and studied engineering in a university in Spain in Cadiz. Eventually became an engineer, became a great engineer, relocated to Chile, and whilst there he built bridges, roads, all kinds of buildings. He founded 8 cities and so forth. But he also had an affair when he was 52 years old with an 18-year-old Chilean girl, and the result was Bernardo O'Higgins. Bernardo O'Higgins went on to be, as I say, the founding father of Chile, the man that won independence for Chile against Spain in the Chilean War of Independence. The most famous person in the history of Chile is Bernardo O'Higgins, whose father was an Irishman from County Clare. So from County Sligo, sorry. Another great patriot here is Henry Grattan. His statue is in here. A great writer also, A.E. George Russell. The list goes on. It's a lovely little park here. There's also on a Fridays, probably wouldn't have been on this time of year, or well, it wouldn't be on today because of the light show here, but there is a farmer's market here every Friday. So I do a tour business. My tour business is called Dublin Rogues Tour. Now I do lots and lots of different tours around Dublin. I do 3-hour tours, 5-hour tours, I do food tours, I do pints and sights tours, I do history tours, I do all kinds, you name it, I do that tour. So I do lots and lots of tours. But one of the tours I actually do, and it's my own tour business, is this one. It's called Dublin Rogues Tour. And this is my card. And it takes place right here, starting at the Oscar Wilde Monument. It's on for about an hour and a half, an hour and 20 minutes. And I do this whole entire park, talk about all the famous former residents. I talk about the scandal, the history of the area. There's lots of different busts and statues throughout the park. I talk about each one of those. And I say the history of the area as well. So, and others that are associated with this area too. So, guys, that's all I've got for you. I hope you enjoyed the tour today. And we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully you can come, because we are doing a beautiful tour of Ireland's most celebrated university, Trinity College, starting at 3 p.m. the same time as this tour started. Hope you can join me for that. Also, folks, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'm at 820. I want to get to 1,000. Thank you very much, Ronnie. I want to get to 1,000 before Christmas. That's my Christmas gift from you guys. So if you've already subscribed, don't press on that button again, otherwise you'll unsubscribe. But if you haven't, please subscribe. And also, if you could, I'd really appreciate it. I have, I think, nearly 170 tours on this YouTube platform on my channel. So if you could send my channel, or send even one of the tours, just share it to any of your friends and family and so forth, and ask them would they watch it and subscribe to my channel. Now if they don't watch anything, then it won't be considered as they won't accept that subscription, that's someone that subscribes if they haven't watched. So tell them just to watch 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of one of the videos, and then it will go through. I'd really appreciate that, folks. It'd be great if you could do that for me. Also, if you did enjoy the tour today, you have an opportunity. Thanks very much, Poppy. No problem. Thanks very much, Diane. Appreciate it. Thank you. Also, folks, if you wish to contribute or donate to this tour, I have a PayPal account. It should be there in the description. Also, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account. I love my coffee. And if you could do that, I'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. That would be great. Looks like there's a lady here. There's a couple here that just got married. They must have got their pictures. There's a, what do you call it? One of them places up the street. There's not a church, but you sign to just be, to get married. What's it called? Registry office up the street here. I'd say they went to a registry office. They just got married, huh? Hello. Congratulations. Congratulations. I'm doing a live stream. People are watching from all over the world. Say hello. They just got married. They just got married, huh? Congratulations. Great stuff. Fantastic. Bye. Take care of it. There you go. They just got married. Isn't that nice? Ronnie like that. Yeah, so as I said, folks, if you could leave a donation, I'd very much appreciate it. And if you could please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, or if you can send this to some of your friends and family or people you might know that might be interested in Irish history, I'd really appreciate that too. Also, one other thing, folks, is this coming Wednesday, I'll be doing a tour of Grafton Street at Christmas. So Christmas on Grafton Street. It'll be highly entertaining. It'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of buskers out playing music and so forth. I'll tell some stories. We'll show you some of the shops, some of the great pubs and all that kind of stuff as well. So I hope you can join me for that. That's at 6 p.m. Irish time. So about 1 p.m. North American East Coast time, 1 p.m., 6 p.m. Irish time. Hope you can join me for that. That's next Wednesday. Tomorrow, as I say, Trinity College at 3 p.m. Irish time. See you all, folks, as we walk out of the park and bring you down a little bit of the beautiful Merrion Square with the wonderful buildings here. Very enjoyable, short on funds, but we'll send a coffee when I'm able. Okay, Susan, no problem. Appreciate it. And if I don't see you guys again, have a great Christmas, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. If I do see you, I'll be able to tell you that again on the next tour. But that's all I got for you, folks. Have a great day. And thank you so much, folks. Appreciate it. Thank you. We'll see you all again soon. Have a great day. Thank you.